Okay, so in this video, I'm going to be talking about athletic recovery. And this is very crucial whether you are an active person in terms of workouts, or maybe you have a job that requires a lot of physical labor. So we're going to be needing 4 items, and I will have it linked in my Amazon storefront. The first item that you're going to need is a tennis ball. You could also use a myofascial ball, but a tennis ball is usually something that we have at home laying around and it's easy to use. This is great in terms of massaging the palms of your hands, especially when we do a lot of work on our hands. I always say bend the fingers slightly and spread them wide to protect the hands and the wrists, but this is really good for getting in there. And it's also really great for your feet and really rolling out your entire body. So in terms of our feet, roll it out counterclockwise and then clockwise. And you want to do this until you feel a nice release. We also want to get on the inside edge of the foot and the outside edge of the foot. Another crucial spot is along the heel. Another crucial spot is around the ankle. And you can do this on both sides. And then we would balance it out with that left foot as well. One of the great things about a tennis ball is that this will get into the areas of the body that the foam roller, which I'm going to show you next, can't really reach. So say, for example, you have a pinched nerve or you have a tight sensation in between the shoulder blades. This is really great for that. So what you can do is you can either lie on your back or do it against the wall. And I'm going to bring my feet up and I'm just going to put pressure here and move just slightly from side to side. Now, when you do this, we want to be really careful about how much pressure we put, but this is how we use the tennis ball. Now let's move on to the foam roller. The foam roller is especially crucial if you don't have the budget for regular massage. Regular massage is one of the absolute best ways that you can maintain your body and help with your athletic recovery. And if you don't have someone else that can massage you, or you're not going and getting a professional massage, this will fill that gap. So we're going to start off with it underneath us. So I'm going to take it underneath my thighs, lying down on my back, and then bring it up. Now, I'm going to take my legs all the way up to the sky, and I'm going to bend my knees and then move from side to side, massaging my sacrum. And this is also really good for getting the very outside of the hip area as well. So we're getting that lower back, that sacrum, that hip, that thigh, lumbar spine, side to side, keeping the shoulders down, and you'll do this until you really feel that release. And again, you are in control of how much pressure you use. Next thing, we're going to remove the roller. So the next thing that we're going to do is take the roller underneath the middle of our back. So lowering down mid-back, the feet are still shoulder width apart, feet are glued down, taking the hands behind the head, and then you're going to press up and roll back and forth. This is really great for getting into the shoulders, in between the shoulder blades, but we want to focus on that upper back here. Breathing deeply, and then you'll lower down the glutes, and having it just underneath that upper back area, that ribcage area, we're going to decompress, bringing one elbow down and then the other. So side to side a few times. And then we're going to come over to the side. And this is really great for the lats. So we're going to move side to side on the lats. This might take a little bit of figuring out. Good, and then we come back to center and we're gonna work on the legs. So taking it underneath one leg, we'll do this one leg at a time. I'm only gonna show you one leg and then you can do the other on your own. So I take it underneath mid-thigh Hands down, again, protecting those wrists, and then rolling back and forth, getting into the hamstrings. And then we move underneath the knee. You could use the foam roller or the tennis ball under the knees. That's where we have more sensitive lymph nodes. So rolling back and forth on that. And then the calf, rolling mid-calf, back and forth, digging deep. And then we would go on to the other side. Now, let's go on to the quad. Our quads tend to be neglected the most. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna come down to our belly. You're going to extend the leg you're working on and get the foam roller underneath the quad. The opposite leg is going to bend, and then you're going to roll back and forth from the hip flexor down the quad. And this is intense. So if there's a lot of tension here, don't be shy in terms of releasing whatever pent-up emotion comes along with that. Sometimes you might feel like screaming or crying or groaning or moaning, and that is normal. I've seen it all. So there is our right side. And then the last thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna take the foam roller underneath the head and put the legs up on the wall. So I come right to the edge of the wall, and you can do this at night before bed or even when you wake up. Bringing the legs up on the wall, take the foam roller underneath the neck, and then maybe you move the head from side to side, and then settle in here. So having your legs on the wall is one of the most incredible ways that you can help to support your lymphatic system as well as your circulation. Legs on the wall relieves cramps in your stomach, your legs, and your feet. It also relieves headaches. It boosts and clears your digestion. There's a lot of really amazing things that your legs on the wall can do for you. I recommend starting off with 5 to 10 minutes every single night, and then you can work your way up to 20. It's the most basic thing that you can do, totally free. And as you do it, you can also place a heating pad on. So this is a heating pad that you can place on your stomach, maybe on your neck. If you felt like you had more tension left in the quads, maybe you put it on top of the quads or somewhere else on the legs or the feet. So a heating pad is not just for when the time of the month comes around, it is also for when the muscles are really tight and cramped up. The other thing that helps to support your muscles when you are in that state of recovery is using something like K-tape, kinesiology tape. And that tape you can put around the arm, you can put on the bottom of your feet. I actually used to do this when I would work for long hours in heels. You can put it on the bottom of your feet, and it kind of just gives it a little bit of breathability in terms of the fascia, which is the next thing that I'm going to talk about. So when fascia is really tight, we're referring to something that's like a net or a sponge even around the muscle that keeps it safe and protected. So when you have worked your muscles to the point of failure, let's say in terms of weightlifting, the fascia will get very tight afterwards. So there's a couple different ways that we can support fascia. The first thing is that you could book a massage, as I recommended before. You could also book myofascial stretch therapy or use myofascial balls, which is basically like the tennis ball, but they have almost like spikes around them. I will insert a picture. So a way that you can help with that at home is I grab my arm and I literally move it from side to side like this, all the way around. So I'm not squeezing and I'm not pinching. I'm just sort of wiggling the skin around, and you can actually feel some of that tension and tightness go away. Same thing with the legs. It's gonna look kind of funny, but I'll do it from my back, from lying down. And same thing, wiggle the leg, wiggle the skin from side to side. So as I mentioned before, heat is not just for when that time of month comes around, heat is for that muscle recovery as well. There's a lot of studies that have been shown to prove that cold plunging can help support with muscle recovery, but most of those studies have been done on male bodies. As women, especially according to Chinese medicine, which is something that I'm very passionate about, we are taught to really focus on heat, keeping the womb warm, keeping our body well circulated, well heated. And women's bodies do tend to be naturally colder than men's. The other thing that's essential in terms of your recovery is taking your magnesium, upping your protein, and making sure that you get proper, good quality rest. And I have outlined some of that in our PDF guides. So no matter how active you are, make sure that you're implementing this recovery routine into your schedule just as much as you schedule in your physical activity, so that you have a well-balanced, well-rounded overall health and wellness.